Well, welcome back to Croft in North Yorkshire for race number 2 of the weekend of the Volkswagen Racing Cup. Scott Wood was here in the commentary box to give you all the action for this second race. And what was a slightly eventful race yesterday, but a victory for Josh Coggan, the second of the season after missing out on what could have been 2 great victories at Donington Park. Now, this second race is based on, the grid is set based on the results from race 1 with the top 6 reverse, and that means that Rob Allam, who won the reverse grid race at Donington Park last time out, starts on pole position. And we know how quick Rob is because he had a fantastic battle with champion leader Martin Depp, who sadly isn't here this weekend, but Rob will try and take full advantage of that, as will everyone else in the title battle. So, looking at the grid for race number 2, as the cars start to form up on the grid, we'll give them the run through. It's Rob Allam on pole position alongside Tony Prendergast on the second place on the grid, from Owen Walton and Rory Clark, then Simon Walton and race 1 winner Josh Coggan. Then it's Russell Joyce and Mark Wakefield is one to watch out for, with 8th on the grid. He's been a race winner so far this year at Donington. From Jack Depper, Mark Steele, Matt Evans, Richard Gilbert and Jeff Clark, rounding out the 13-car grid. So Rob Allam on the left in the grey and blue Golf. Alongside him on the right is the black and yellow Scirocco of Tony Prendergast. But watch for the 2 Slide Sports Audi TTs, the red and white cars, sliding up in 5th and 3rd positions. And also Josh Coggan in the middle of screen there in 6th position in the white Golf. The red lights are on, and race number 2 of the Alfa Romeo of the Volkswagen Racing Cup is underway. Bit of a creep there from Jack Depper. It's a good start initially from Rob Allam. It's a rocket start from pole position down towards Clermont for the first time. He simply left everyone for dust down towards turn 1. A cracking getaway for the Golf. Turns into turn 1. And up the inside out, already into second place, looks to be Owen Walton. A couple of cars running wide in the background, but the 2 who said to watch for the 2 Audis is now a tag from Josh Coggan on the back of Rory Clark, loses him out. There's also contact between Mark Steele and also Matt Evans, so a bit of a scruffy start for that for Volkswagens, but certainly quite eventful as they head through the first few corners. And already Josh Coggan is trying to put the pressure on the second of the 2 Audi TTs, which is currently being driven by Simon Walton, looking down the outside, and he has got it through. Look at that, the superior grip and confidence from Josh Coggan gets him around the outside, and the Golf holds the track position at the moment, but he's going to go side by side with the Audi TT into the Jim Clark S's for the first time. That's Tony Prendergast holding second place, as up the road Rob Allam has almost disappeared. This is the battle of a second, then up the inside looks Simon Walton, but it's for 3rd place because we were almost missing Owen Walton, who's chasing after the race leader Rob Allam. So this is the scrap now for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Rory Clark has recovered to just sit behind Russell Joyce, who's had a good decent start from where he was on the grid up to 6th position. So Rob Allam now towards the end of the first lap is being caught by Simon Walton. So Owen Walton followed by 3rd place man Tony Prendergast, who's done well to hold on to his 3rd position after starting on the front row of the grid. There is Simon Walton in 4th place, followed by Josh Coggan, yesterday's race 1 winner, and up to 6th place, as we said, is Russell Joyce, coming under threat from last year's vice champion Rory Clark, as they head out of the hairpin for the first time onto the pit straight to end lap number 1. And as they head down towards turn 1, it might say Rob Allam fastest lap of the race, but we won't get a true idea of what pace is like until we get our first flying lap completed, which will be this time around. Tony Prendergast doing well to hold on to 3rd, but up in for 4th place now. Josh Coggan is starting to apply the pressure a little further now on Simon Walton. He got past very briefly on the exit of Tower Corner, but had to sit back and try and hold on. But a great run off there has put him alongside Simon Walton, who got a little shaky exiting the Essie section on the back straight down towards Tower. So now as they come up towards the complex, Allam still leads Owen Walton in 2nd place. It's still now 3rd for Tony Prendergast, but up into 4th there has gone Josh Coggan after that mistake from Simon Walton. That's not going to help him, running wide on the exit, and that has put Simon right onto his rear wing as they come up through the Jim Clark S's for the 2nd time here at Croft in this second race. And Mark Wakefield hasn't made too much progress from where he started, 8th on the grid, and also is that possibly that Russell Joyce towards the back, so either that's a problem for Russell Joyce or he's had an issue and had a spin somewhere to try and get back up through the field, unless I'm looking at a different car. But here comes Richard Gilbert, followed by Jeff Clark. I think that is Russell Joyce at the back. And there's Mark Steele in the 3rd of the Slide Sport entered cars. And we've got Matt Evans ahead of Jack Depper. And yes, there is Russell Joyce. So a problem for the 72 there. There must have been a small spin or an issue of some kind. But either way, he's back up to racing speeds, but at the tail of the field with some work to do after what was a great start from where he was on the grid. Into the hairpin for the 2nd time. It's a 20-minute encounter here at Croft. Josh Coggan will have to work hard to try and get himself back towards the front. Now, Owen Walton sets the first fastest lap of the race in terms of a flying lap under racing conditions. 1 minute 30.4 for Owen Walton as they come into the left-hander at Clairvaux for the 3rd time and heading into Hawthorns now. So the gap across the line was just under 0.6 of a second between Rob Allam and Owen Walton. Prendergast is doing a grand job in 3rd place to hold on to the position. We saw that was Matt Evans battling with Jack Depper, who really hasn't had too much pace this weekend, and he's sitting back a little bit further than he'd like to be. As now at the inside for third place, goes Josh Coggan on the inside of Tony Prendergast. He's not that far up yet as they come up towards the Jim Clark S's. Now Simon Walters trying to get himself involved as well. This is for third, and Josh Coggan braves it out on the inside line for the first part of the Jim Clark S's and squeezes through by the exit of the second part into Barcroft. So up into third goes Josh Coggan. Into fourth place goes Simon Walton. Tony Prendergast may lose fifth if he's not careful, because he might come under threat from Rory Clark, who in turn is having to deal with a rather feisty Mark Wakefield on the exit of Sunny Out here as they come onto the back section towards the complex again. So still Alan in the lead. Owen Walton in second place. Josh Coggan is up to third. Simon Walton up to fourth position. Tony Prendergast is down to fifth. And then Rory Clark in sixth position, coming under threat from Mark Wakefield, who was the race one winner at Donington Park last time out. Lock up there from Wakefield. He finished yesterday's race with, I think, most of his front left corner missing after he clattered the tyre stacks, and the front headlight and the front wing were all missing, but thankfully they managed to replace those. Plenty of spares in that truck, and get himself back out there for HSG Sports. Scrap developing there between Matt Evans and Jack Depper. A big sideways moment for Rory Clark as he clouts the curb on the inside of Clairvaux on their way around the right-hander and into the S's again. So the lead at the front is now up to almost 9/10 per second. A new fastest lap of the race for Rob Allam last time. First man into a sub 90-second lap, 1:29.807. Pulled out about 3/10 of a second on Owen Walton. Personal best from the top four as well, but lap time wise, Josh Coggan's lap was a 1:31.0, but that was only because he was having to get around Tony Prendergast as a result of that. So now he's got a little bit of clear air. He should now start to charge afterwards, but he has got a rather precarious Slide Sports Audi TT hunting him down now for third position. Simon Walton is not allowing Josh Coggan to escape up the road. Into Sunny Inn they go. And Tony Prendergast a little wide on the exit of Sunny Inn. That might put him under threat now from Rory Clark and Mark Wakefield as a result as they head out towards the complex again. There's Mark Steele doing well in the 22 in the Staples-sponsored Slide Sports run. Volkswagen Golf, and a change possibly behind them. It looks like that was Matt Evans under threat from Jack Depper, who was trying to squeeze up the inside into the first part of the complex. Looking back, he has managed to get through before they hit the second part, so good effort from Jack. Like father, like son, I'm sure. Of course, Jack Depper, of course, the son of championship leader Martin, who, due to other commitments, sadly isn't here this weekend, but I'm sure if he's not, even if he is here, I'm sure he's definitely cheering on his boy down the pit straight. And also looking behind them, we've got Richard Gilbert and also Jeff Clark and Russell Joyce not too far away, so that's possibly developing into a 5-car scrap for the bottom end of the top 10 places, so that's a good battle to watch out for. So Jack Depper leads the way in this 5-car group. Now looks as though that Jack Depper's got his windscreen wipers on. Does that suggest possibly 1 or 2 spots of rain, or is he simply just cleaning the windscreen? Either way, it's a bit interesting there. There is some cloud hanging across, but I didn't think, as though even though it is quite humid, temperature's still quite high, which wouldn't suggest there's possibly any chance of rain. But and again, this is the UK, and the weather can do wondrous things. So potentially we could see some rain a little bit later on in this race or in the afternoon, provided that the weather conditions prompt it to be so. There's Russell Joyce hunting down Jeff Clark as we head back towards our battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Still Tony Prendergast under threat from Rory Clark as Mark Wakefield looks to keep touch, and there's Jeff Steele in a little bit of no man's land. He's not really catching these top 3 in front of him, 3 cars in front, but he's not really losing too much time to the cars behind. So he's sort of running his own race here as they come back into the complex again. As we say, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh all together. Then it's Mark Steele in 8th, and then Jack Depper trying to pull away from the 4 cars behind as he remains in 9th place. There's the 33, pulling out a small gap already to Matt Evans, who'll come under threat from a slightly patched up Richard Gilbert. He was another car that was in the wars after clipping a tyre stack too many. Jeff Clark now having to defend the inside line for 12th place ahead of Russell Joyce, who had a good start to the race, but whatever issue that befell him seems to have dropped him back towards the rear of the field, and he really hasn't been able to pick up his pace again to charge back through, which is a shame. Now then, what's changed here is that Mark Wakefield has got past in the last, since we saw them in the last sequence, Rory Clark, and now is straight onto the tail of Tony Prendergast for 5th position. So a change in positions then. So it looks as though it happened possibly into the complex at the hairpin. I would wonder it's possibly a run out of the hairpin. As now Mark Wakefield again diving up the inside for another place into Tower Corner. And Tony Prendergast has to give him the room. And sliding through into 5th position now goes Mark Wakefield. And Rory Clark will get himself back into the mix. Could be a Scirocco battle here if Tony Prendergast allows Rory Clark another sniff at what will be 6th position. Now Mark Wakefield will have some clear track now to try and chase after the battle for 3rd in front between Josh Coggan and Simon Walton. And here comes Rory Clark. He's going to make a dive. Thought about it, but sat back into the braking zone and just thought, not yet. We'll try and get him another chance to get through a little bit further around the lap as they turn out of sunny in and sunny out. And if they continue to battle, keep an eye on Mark Steele in the red and white Golf behind them. There he is. He might come into play if he plays his cards right. There's Simon Walton in the second of the two Slide Sports Audi TTs. Still chasing after the DW Racing entered Volkswagen Golf. Rob Allen goes across the line and sets a brand new fastest lap of the race, 1:29.543. I think that's even quicker than the managed yesterday, which is pretty impressive. So some cracking stuff from Rob then to continue on in the lead. And again, if he can stay where he is for the second half of the race, it will be his second reverse grid race victory in succession, because he picked up the victory after that race-long duel last time out with Martin Depper at Donington Park. And it was a fabulous duel at that. Rob Allen's task made a little bit simpler this time by, but still being kept honest by Owen Walton in second place as they head down towards Tower Corner once again. Josh Coggan isn't safe in third place either, because he knows that one slip up from the Golf will allow the TT to have an option. As up the inside goes Rory Clark, and in the second time in as many laps, Tony Prendergast finds himself on the outside line, having to allow space for a car trying to make a move, because Mark Wakefield got himself through there last time by. This time though, Prendergast seems to have learned his lesson and shuts the door on Clark to force him to try and rethink another move further around the lap. Remember, these two are teammates effectively. They both run for the JW Bird Motorsport team, but at the moment they're just rivals to each other. Into Sunny in they go. And again, Tony Prendergast is not going to give this place up easy, is he? There's Mark Wakefield chasing after the scrap for third. The closest battle we can see is this fight that goes on for sixth between Tony Prendergast in the black and grey number 5 with the yellow accents, and the white and grey car of Rory Clark, last year's vice champion in the VW Cup, holding on in 7th place. So Prendergast has 6th. Clark wants it. And let's see what he's got here in this second half of the race. We're past the 10-minute mark. We're into 9.25 minutes still to go in this second race of the weekend for the Volkswagen Racing Cup. And as you said, Rob Allen still leads the way from Owen Walton in second place. Josh Coggan has third, just ahead of Simon Walton in the second of the Audi TTs. And Mark Wakefield, you just saw there flashing through the shot, is certainly making the most of the clear air he had to start to just slowly but surely close onto the rear wing of Simon Walton to possibly steal away 4th place. There's Rory Clark. He's a former BMW Compact Cup and Formula Ford racer, showing his prowess now in the front-wheel drive Volkswagen Cup. And now looking up the inside again with a big dive into Tower Corner if he's far enough alongside. And again, Prendergast favours the outside line, but Clark has got track position on the exit. This puts them side by side in the run down towards the Jim Clark S's. Now Prendergast will have track position for the first part, but if Clark can stay there side by side, he'll have the second part, which he can't. And Prendergast remains in front and actually pulls a small car length as a result of that. So Prendergast had the better line and therefore the better momentum through that sequence of corners. Back into Sunny in they go. And let's keep tabs on lap times last time by. If we have a look and see where we are. So with 8 minutes to go, it's turning into quite the race so far for these guys. Plenty of battles up and down the field. Now here's a scrap we need to watch out for. Simon Walton put under pressure from Mark Wakefield for 4th place. Now Mark Wakefield last time by did a 1:29.6. That was a personal best, and he was the fastest man out of the top 5 because everyone else did low to mid 130s. And look at the lap times this time by. It's a 30.0 for Allen, 30.5 for Walton, a 30.2 for Coggan. It was a 30.5 for Walton and a 29.9 for Wakefield as Simon Walton locks up heading into Clairvaux. And now we'll see the grey and white Golf looming large in his mirrors as he heads up through Hawthorne. This is the chance that Wakefield will need. Wakefield last time out starred in TCR for the first time in what was the ex-Carl Swift car that Richard Woods is competing in this weekend. You see there Tony Prendergast again for the 3rd lap in succession down towards Tower, coming under threat from Tony Prendergast. And here we go again, up into the right-hander at Tower Bend. Now Clark seems to have got the move done a little bit earlier this time. Yes, he has. So sweeps in front of Tony Prendergast and cuts off any avenue for defence. And up into 6th place goes the 2018 vice champion. Now he has some clear air. What can he do to possibly catch the cars in front with just under 7 minutes to go in this second race for the Volkswagen Racing Cup? Already you can see the pace difference. He's pulled out a couple of the car legs purely in those 2 corners already. So that's just how quick Rory Clark is at this point. And now the next man that's Prendergast will have to worry about is that man, Mark Steele, in car number 22 in the Golf. With rather curious sort of wheel arches on that car as well. It's very much a BTC sort of proper touring car-esque wheel arches on that car. Here's that scrap for 4th place continuing on between Simon Walton and Mark Wakefield. So Mark Wakefield very prominent in his TCR UK debut last time out at Donington Park, where he did double duty. As we say, picked up a victory at Donington for his troubles as well. Now, he wants 4th place. So it all depends on who's the racier of the two here to come out on top. Mark Wakefield was very strong here last year as well. In fact, it was there at Clairvaux where he made a fantastic dive up the inside. I think it was both Jamie Bond and Darren Lewis, I think, in that race, and took 2 for the price of 1. It was a fantastic move. A daring dive up the inside that took 2 cars. And that was one of the moves of the year, I think, in many cases. Down towards Tower Corner go our race leaders. Still Rob Allen leads the way. No challenge from Owen Walton so far. Now Josh Coggan is trying to pull away in 3rd place. The gap at the front, meanwhile, between 1st and 2nd, was 2.7 seconds the last time they came across the line. So Rob Allen appears to have this race in control at the moment. That was more than that. It was 3 seconds, as Josh Coggan also set a personal best, 1:29.904. Now, Mark Wakefield matched the lap time of Simon Walton last time by. They both did a 1:30.4. So pace is looking pretty even, but a lock up into Sonny in from Simon Walton will open the door for Mark Wakefield to go up the inside and Sonny out. Will he have to give him the room? He does. And up the inside to 4th place goes Mark Wakefield. So that was a really opportunistic pass, kept on applying the pressure, found the gap, found the error, straight up the inside and into 4th position goes Mark Wakefield at the expense of Simon Walton's Audi TT. Now, with less than 5 minutes to go now, the next question has to be, can he catch Josh Coggan and demote the race 1 winner to outside a podium finish? Let's try and have a look. We'll look at the pace that Mark Wakefield has now already. Simply after making that pass, he's pulling away by several car lengths in a matter of corners. So Mark Wakefield's car, we know how quick that car is now. And Josh Coggan's car, of course, will have a little bit more weight after winning that first race, so that could be an advantage. Look at the lap time difference. It was a 1:30.7 for Coggan, 1:30.6 even with the overtake for Mark Wakefield. And already in that clear you can see just how quick that Golf is. There's Rory Clark, who isn't too far away. We said he might start to pull in to a possible move for 5th place with the clear track he's got. Simon Walton will have to start looking in his mirrors once again, because that bright white Golf might start coming to play. Likewise for Tony Prendergast, who, as we said, may start to be caught by Mark Steele behind in 8th position. One car running wide on the exit is Josh Coggan. That's pretty crucial in his defence of 3rd place, because Mark Wakefield will see that. He will smell blood in the water and he will sense a move here could be on within the next couple of laps. So he knows that Josh Coggan is pushing a little too hard at this point in time in the race as we head the closing stages. And Tony Prendergast, who did very well to hold on in the initial couple of laps towards the front, has slowly marched towards the bottom of the top 10, or towards backwards of the top 10. That's Simon Walton kicking up the dust on the exit. So he's getting pretty ragged as well in his possible defence of what is currently 5th position. Meanwhile, for 3rd, the battle is on. Josh Coggan goes a little deep on the exit, the second part of the complex. Wakefield's over the curb on the exit into the hairpin, takes the wider racing line into the left-hander, clouts the curb on the exit, and it's a superior run off the corner that might see him possibly get the run he needs to try and steal 3rd position. Down towards Clairvaux once again with 3¼ minutes left on the clock. We're going to get roughly, I think, 2 more laps to go. And here comes Wakefield to the outside line into Clairvaux, but Josh Coggan brakes a little bit later, takes the inside. Wakefield looks for the switch back on the exit into Hawthorn. It's side by side for 3rd position, up the inside, over the curb, and Mark Wakefield is up into 3rd place. That was a beautifully orchestrated pass there for Mark Wakefield. He set him up nicely, got the switch back, forced himself alongside, and that is into a podium place then for Mark Wakefield from 8th on the grid. Cracking stuff. Now then, what can Simon Walton do? Because he's down in 4th place and 5th position. He sensed a battle of a fight for 4th here. If he can try and move through, I wonder if the extra weight is starting to possibly work Josh Coggan's tyres a little bit too much. It's playing into the hands of the cars around him as they come up towards the Jim Clark S's. So up through the left, through the right, and Josh Coggan's car maybe looks a little bit less steady on the faster parts of the circuit, and now Simon Walton senses an opportunity as they head up into Sonny in. They both take the tight line, rally crossing, cutting the curb as much as they can. Mark Wakefield, look at the amount he's pulling away already in this clear track. He seems to be really relishing the fact that his car's running not virtually any to no weight and trying to pull away. Now, looking at the gap, I think possibly at this late stage in the race, 2nd place is too much of an ask, because last time they came across the line, 3rd place was 4.5 seconds back, and I really don't think that Mark Wakefield's going to pull in 4.5 seconds as quick as he is within these next couple of laps. Looks as though we're going to get, I think, actually 2 more laps, so 2 more times around the Croft Circuit for the leaders. Rob Allen has already gone through and has actually lapped a couple of tenths quicker than current race man in 2nd place Owen Walton. So Allen still leads with 1.5 minutes to go in this 2nd Volkswagen Racing Cup race of the weekend. And Wakefield now, yeah, his gap now across the line was 5.3 seconds to second place. The last lap was half a second quicker than Owen Walton, but unless, touch wood, something happens to second place, and at the moment it doesn't look likely. I think third place will be as high as Mark Wakefield will rise in this race, but it's been a brilliant drive nonetheless. Josh Coggan having to cope with the extra weight thanks to his race 1 success, holding on to 4th, followed by Walton in 5th. Rest of the top 10 shows Rory Clark in 6th, Tony Prendergast in 7th place. Mark Steele is not too far away from the back of a number 5 Scirocco in 8th position. Jack Depper has held station in 9th, and Matt Evans rounds out the top 10 from Richard Gilbert, then Russell Joyce, and then Jeff Clark. So all 13 cars that started are still running. 40 seconds to go then in this race, and we're looking just a bit further back now. That's the scrap that was going on for 12th and 13th place, as we see Mark Wakefield leading the scrap for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. You can hear the spectators in the background cheering on their favourites. And Jack Depper actually pulled away rather substantially in this race. We haven't seen too much of him throughout that sort of middle part of the race, but look at the gap. He's put a substantial margin over Matt Evans, and now we see Russell Joyce now trying to get past Richard Gilbert, who went wide on the exit, and Russell Joyce says, if you're going to make it that easy, pops up the inside and straight into what is now 11th place. Gilbert will try and fight back on the outside into the second part of the complex, but the Joyce design man holds on to the position and will head into the hairpin to start the last lap of the race. Still under threat from Gilbert. He tries to go around the outside, finds his avenue blocked, and has to sit back now into 12th position. So on to a last lap here at Croft goes the VW Racing Cup. There is Jeff Clark in the background. There is Owen Walton. There is Mark Wakefield in 3rd place. It's been a brilliant drive for Mark after finishing a little bit lower down than he would have liked in the first race. I think as of courtesy of his success ballast from the weekend at Donington Park, but he managed to shake that all off. He's been able to hold on. Oh, I heard somebody possibly either locking up or in the background or having a problem as they head down towards the right-hander at Butt. Sunny in and sunny out for the last time, and Josh Coggan is doing well to keep Mark Wakefield in bay in 3rd, keeping sight in 3rd position, but also keeping Simon Walton at bay, who's behind in 5th. There he is. So Walton turns his way in 2nd place, but the race winner looks to be going to the man that took the victory in this particular reverse grid race at Donington Park. It'll be a 2nd reverse grid race win in succession for Rob Allen, as he'll head towards the checkered flag. And Rob Allen does indeed take race victory in race number 2 of the Volkswagen Racing Cup. It will be 2nd place to that man, Owen Walton, in the first of the 2 Slide Sports Audi TTs, and a brilliant drive for Mark Wakefield to get 3rd place with some gutsy moves up through the field. But there is your race winner, a very happy Rob Allen. That is an independently run car, Alubi Motorsports, and he really knows how to engineer it, and he knows how to pedal it as well. Great stuff from Rob Allen. A lights to flag victory from pole position, and since he took the lead off the start of the race, he never looked like being headed. That was a brilliant result. Just to confirm the rest of the result coming through, it'll be Simon Walton 4th, Josh Coggan, who was yesterday's race 1 winner, in 5th, and then Tony Prendergast holds on to 6th ahead of Rory Clark in 7th place. There's confirmation of the result then. Rob Allen takes the victory by 7 seconds from Owen Walton in 2nd place. Mark Wakefield picks up 3rd after starting 8th on the grid. 4th place for Simon Walton. 5th place for yesterday's race 1 winner Josh Coggan. 6th place for Tony Prendergast, who looks as though he got back past Rory Clark after a possible mistake for the vice champion last year. 8th for Mark Steele, 9th for Jack Depper, and 10th for Matt Evans as he rounds out the top 10. And the rest of the finishes on your screen. Richard Gilbert 11th, Russell Joyce 12th, and Jeff Clark in 13th place. All 13 cars started, all 13 cars back home again, which is brilliant to see. So, going forwards for the VW Cup, they'll be heading to 2 races at Brands Hatch, one on the Indy circuit as part of the Deutsche Fest, and the other one will be part of the British GT package on the Grand Prix circuit at Brands Hatch Indy. And then once again they'll be heading back to Donington Park on the Grand Prix circuit to finish off the 2019 campaign. And we'll see what the likes of Rob Allen and co can do to possibly close down that lead further on Martin Depper. In fact, I'm pretty confident, looking at the results, that Owen Walton will have made up enough points this weekend to potentially taken over the championship lead. I've just got a thumbs up there that it is the case. Owen Walton leaves now Croft in the championship lead for the VW Cup. So Martin Depper's got a lot of work to do to get himself back up the order with those final 3 meetings at Brands Hatch and Donington Park. So into the pit lane go our top 3, which, confirming again, is Rob Allen in your race victor, 2nd place for Owen Walton, and 3rd place for Mark Wakefield as they come into pit lane. I'm pretty sure down there very shortly we'll hear from the top 3 with Bryn Lucas. He'll be able to have a chat and see how Rob Allen found that victory. Lots of going on from the team there. So it's definitely 3 reasons to be happy. Rob Allen with a fantastic victory. Owen Walton with 2nd place and the championship lead. And 3rd place for Mark Wakefield, a very deserved 3rd place after a fantastic drive. And Rob Allen, very happy indeed with that performance, and so he should be. The Libby Motorsport squad embrace. And now waiting to have a chat to our top 3 down in the pit lane is Bryn Lucas.
Well, here with the race winner, just waiting for him to take his crash helmet off. What an amazing race that was, especially Mark Wakefield. He was 8th on the grid, up to 3rd, climb of 5 places, really hard fought. He's getting a hug from his team at the minute over there to our left-hand side. We've got a lot of the drivers now starting to take their lids off and starting to cool down as best they can, get some fluids back on board. These races are pretty heavy going on the body because temperatures inside these cars can reach upwards of 45 degrees C, particularly in conditions like this today where it is very, very warm at Croft. Unusually warm for Croft. Most of the times I'm here at Croft, it's raining, so it's nice to see the sun shining up here in the northeast. Hugs all round. This is nice to see, isn't it? Let's dive in then. Let's try and get a word with Rob Allen, the race winner. If we can dive in. Rob, can we get a word? As he gets a hug from his family. Most important, and I hope that's somebody he knows. Anyway, Rob, congratulations. That was it. Do your hair. You're looking great. What a great win. What an easy win it seemed.
Lights the flag, can't complain. Yeah, I mean, after yesterday, I got that 15-second penalty, so it kind of took away that 3rd, but I ended up with pole on the reverse grid, so to get that and convert that, it's, yeah, brilliant. The team have done a fantastic job. The car was brilliant. So.
Well, the racing from the VW series is always fantastic, and you guys always put on a show, but it is hard fought. And out here, how are you finding the new conditions with the new surface that's been laid at Croft?
Do you know what, there is grip everywhere, like people saying, there's loads of grip. It's still a very undulating track. There's lots of dips, there's bumps, there's off camber, there's everything, so you've still got to nail the right places. If you run a little bit deep, yeah, there is grip, but it's still not a forgiving track, so it's hard work, but yeah, today.
I'm just looking at the time now, it's about 2:30. You can put your feet up now.
No. We've got to put everything away and get ready to go, and then yeah, we'll probably have some beers or something later, or a soft drink or another water, racing driver diet and all that. So
absolutely, well, go and enjoy your soft drink and your trophy as well.
Thank you very much.
There you go, race winner. Let's move on to 2nd place. If we go down here now, Owen, that was. There you go, nice and polite as well, that's what we like to see. That was a pretty exciting race for you in the middle there.
It was all right, yeah. There wasn't much racing going on. I tried to keep a Rob at the start. He was quick, he was really quick. But I sort of did settle for 2nd place as well. At this stage in the championship, points mean everything to me. I said to Rob before I go out, I don't matter if I come 1st or 2nd, I'll take 2nd all day long. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. We're top of the leaderboard now as well, so yeah. And
temperatures inside the car, it can get pretty warm, particularly here, as I was saying just before I came to you, Croft is unusually hot this time of year.
Yeah, no, that's right. Last year was really greasy. And because I've got electric windows as well, I can't open them because I haven't got any side netting unlike these guys. But yeah, no, we just managed the best we could. Settled for 2nd place. I was really comfortable. I wasn't pushing. I just wanted to keep the car on the track, make sure I maintain them consistent laps, to keep that gap with the people behind me. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that.
Nice one, 2nd place, well done.
Thank you.
And let's go to 3rd place. Let's go to Mark Wakefield here. We saw Mark in TCR, but here he is right now. 3rd place for Mark Wakefield. That was really nice. 8th to 3rd, a big jump, 5 places.
Yeah, it was. I didn't have the best of starts, which was unfortunate. We dropped right to the back of the field, and had to battle my way through. We had some good battles with some drivers, and to get a podium out of the last race, it's just great.
Were you expecting to climb so many places, or do you think it was going to be much harder to get up the grid?
It was going to be hard. Yeah, I did feel a podium there, so I did work hard to get there. I'm just glad I've done it, because after the hard work all the boys have done, to get the car back out after my mistake I made in race 1. But yeah, just to get a podium, it's down to all the guys that have done all the hard work, so thanks to them, my sponsor Lisan, absolutely made up.
Well done. It's nice to put those demons to the back of your mind. Go and get your trophy, well done.
Cheers, thank you.
There you go, top 3 all done and dusted. We have got more racing coming up here from Croft. We've got the Disc Lock Civic Cup coming up in just a few moments, so back to our race commentator this time, Andy McEwan.